think autumn is my favourite time of year when it comes to food and cooking. I much prefer stuff like stews and soups and like warming food and comforting food as opposed to like more salads and stuff in the summer. So I thought it would be good to film another what I eat in a day, and this one be a bit more autumn inspired, and it's definitely feeling autumnal today. The temperatures have dropped finally, which I'm very excited about. So I thought I would make some cosy meals that are all vegan obviously and budget friendly as well, and give you a little bit of inspiration this season. If you've watched this channel before, you probably weren't surprised that my breakfast this morning was porridge. I just love porridge and I eat it all year round, but I do like to vary it with the seasons, and I tend to do overnight oats during the week, but at the weekend I like to mix it up a little bit and cook porridge from scratch. I just feel like it has a little bit of a different flavour, and I also change up the oats. So I usually use just like, what do you call, like cheapy steel cut oats that I get from Aldi because they're budget friendly and quick to cook, so I use that during the week. But at the weekend I like to have like jumbo oats or whole oats, and I use this brand. This is my favourite. This is like my luxury brand, where you get this from, I get this from Tesco anyway when it comes to oats, and it's just my favourite. It takes still a bit longer to cook, but because I have more time I'm able to do that. And then I add apple in with it as it's cooking, so it gets nice and soft, and also some cinnamon because apples and cinnamon are beautifully autumnal. So yeah, really enjoyed that breakfast, and it's just later in the morning now, so I'm on to having like a mid-morning snack. I do like to eat snacks through the day. I just don't like to let myself get too hungry because I get like crabby. So I think I'm going to have another apple, and I'm going to have it with some almond butter. I just get this one from Aldi, which I actually think is quite nice. I get their peanut butter like this as well. It's their kind of raw range. It's slightly more expensive, but it's probably better for you, and there's also no palm oil in this range, which is great because I do try and avoid that where I can. It's not the best for the environment. I used to have smoothies as my, in the warm months I have smoothies as my mid-morning snack, but it's just not something I want to reach for at this time of year. It's a bit cold, and this is just a nice easy thing to put together. So I think I'm going to do that now and then crack on with a little bit more work before I check in with you guys at lunchtime. I just wanted to take a quick moment to introduce the sponsor of this week's video, and that is Wild. Since I've been vegan, I've been more conscious about the ethics of other things I'm consuming, and I have struggled finding a deodorant that is good for the environment, good for me, but also actually works and keeps me smelling fresh. That's where Wild comes in. Wild are a certified B corporation that produce natural, vegan, cruelty-free deodorant that is powered by plants. I love their deodorants. They're really smart because they come in an aluminium case that comes in different colours, and it's also customizable, and the refills are made from bamboo pulp, which means they're fully biodegradable. This means that Wild has already saved over 100 tonnes of single-use deodorants going to landfill. These deodorants also avoid harsh chemicals like aluminium salts or parabens, so they won't block your pores. They have a wonderful range of scents, including their limited edition pumpkin spice and vanilla one, which is so much fun. It's got a gorgeous, warm, slightly sweet scent that is absolutely perfect for autumn. I also love their cotton and sea salt scent because it's really refreshing, and it's a great one that you can wear all year round. It reminds me of that fresh sheets feeling, which is always a good thing. If you'd like to try Wild yourself, you can use my code HippieHighland20 that I put in the description for you and I put on screen now, and you can get 20% off the entire range. Thank you to Wild for sponsoring this week's video. I've decided to have a bit of an early lunch because I'm actually quite hungry. I do seem to get like hungrier as soon as it gets slightly colder. I think my body's like, you need more fuel. So I'm going to be having some leftovers this lunch. So I'll just show you that. This is not the most autumnal looking soup you've ever seen. I think it's because it's orange. I actually made this yesterday. So this is a sweet potato and butternut squash soup. Both great vegetables are coming into season, or they're in season now, and they're also super cheap, and they're great to eat at this time of year, and they're really like nourishing and wholesome. And I made this using a Lucy Watson recipe. So I've shown this cookbook so many times, but this was the first cookbook I got when I went vegan, and I would say I always recommend it because the recipes are really yummy, but they're also quite simple, and a lot of them are budget friendly. And what she does is she basically tries to replicate comfort meals we're all familiar with, but make it vegan. So stuff like spaghetti bolognese and carbonara, and I think there's a lasagna. There's more than just pasta based things, but clearly that's just what I'm remembering. So I'll link this down below in case you are interested in getting it. But yeah, I made the soup yesterday because my partner actually wasn't feeling very well and it's his favourite soup. So I thought I'd make up a batch of it, and that's what I tend to do through the cooler months. I often make soup. That's just like my go-to lunch, and I always make it in a batch so it does me or just us a few days, and I freeze some of it sometimes where I can if I make a huge amount. But we do have quite a small freezer in the tiny home. We've only got like a little under the counter freezer, so I am a little bit limited with freezer space. I did a video recently about my food shop and food shopping on a budget, and a lot of us were discussing in the comments like the importance of freezing stuff where you can. So I freeze like the odd bit of soup. I often freeze pretty much all of my bread, so it just lasts so much longer, and it's a great hack when it comes to saving money and avoiding food waste. But I did film me making this soup, so I can cut to that footage now and see and show you how I make it. It's about mid-afternoon now and I'm getting a bit peckish, so I thought I'd show you what I'm having for a snack. If you heard clip-clopping about then, that was Skye, because every time I talk to the camera she thinks I'm talking to her, don't you? Yeah, and you think this snack's for you? It's not for you, but I can get you your own snack in a minute. So this is what I'm having. I'm having one of these, it's not for you, darling. One of these bars that I make. This is the Pickup Lines recipe. I think I've shared it before. I might have even vlogged me making these, but I'll link it below because they're full of goodness. It's like dates and nuts and oats and everything. There's lots of stuff in here, and there's a dash of like cinnamon in it, which is really nice for this time of year. And then I'm using my lovely mug that I got from Wigtown. If you didn't see that vlog, that's when I went to Scotland's Booktown, so I'll link that down below. And I got this in a package recently, just a loose pucker tea, so I thought I'd try this because I've not tried this one before. This is their like chai one, and I think it says it's got, oh, I've ripped it, but I think it was cinnamon, cardamom and ginger. So again, sounds very nice and autumnal, so I'll just let that brew and that could be my wee snack. So I'm just doing some dinner prep now, and I'm having shepherd's pie because it's a great autumnal meal, really filling. I make a big batch of it and then we can eat the leftovers over multiple days. It's loosely based on a recipe again from this cookbook, which I made the soup from. It's this shepherd's pie here, but I do change it quite a lot because I've made this recipe quite a lot over the years and I do like to improve on them. And the main thing I do differently is she says to use 2 cans, like canned green lentils, whereas I prefer to use them dry because I just think it's more flavoursome that way, and it's probably cheaper because I always have these in my pantry anyway to do it like that. It takes a little bit longer, so you can always do the tinned version, but I find that they can go a bit mushy when they're in tins, whereas these hold their shape better when cooked from scratch. So yeah, I'm going to get on with that now and show you how I do it. Thank you very much for watching this autumn inspired What I Eat in a Day. I've loved having you along with me in our tiny home kitchen, and do please share your own favourite autumn recipes or things you love to eat in the autumn below. I'd love to read them. Thank you very much guys. I will see you next week.